always been fascinated by puppet shows and the remarkable stories. Wonder how the puppeteer creates that magic.
Dear all, welcome to this webinar titled A Beginner's Journey into AI. We have people participating from across the world. Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, depending upon which part of the world you are currently in. We are Education for All, a 501c3 tax-exempt charitable organization in USA helping in providing quality education free of charge to rural children in India in collaboration with the Prashanti Balamandira Trust in India. Now quickly into agenda for today. We have a lot of fun-filled agenda. Initially, I will talk briefly about fundamentals of AI. Then we'll also talk about this cause, Education for All, for a few minutes. Then followed by, as we mentioned in the flyer, we have industry experts, Cheena Kaul and Raji Kaul from Intelgia, who will be demonstrating the application of the AI tools and integration of some of the tools. Now, without much delay, let me share my screen and then talk about the fundamentals of AI. What is artificial intelligence? It is not as complicated as you think. We have been using artificial intelligence since time immemorial. The only thing is it has come to this stage in the recent past. In short, it is basically a machine-based intelligence. It mimics human behavior, making machines think, function like humans. Examples of artificial intelligence: anything that uses human intelligence to make the machine work, as I mentioned. Like in the day-to-day life, you can see Siri, for instance, Alexa, Google Home, autopilot cars, all of them use artificial intelligence. Today, we are going to talk about ChatGPT and Midjourney. How does artificial intelligence work? I try to make it as simple as possible, but this is what the simplest I can go with. I know in the call we have people from all levels. Let me try to make it as layman as possible. So what you see in the middle here, the software algorithms, that is the heart of the artificial intelligence, you can say. What it needs is the data. It needs a lot of data. It all depends upon the data what you feed in, and it has algorithms written in software programs. So it takes the algorithms and then gives the result. You put a question, it has algorithm, it fetches the data and then uses its own algorithms to give you output back. That is in a nutshell what is artificial intelligence is all about. Now, not necessarily that you will build these AI tools from scratch. See, these days, there are off-the-shelf products that's available. So many times what you do is you don't reinvent the wheel. You take what is available in the market and then use it and integrate with your fun projects or within your corporation or whatnot. Now, what is AI development software with that respect? That is basically for users and businesses to build powerful AI tools, integrate with your own data sets, and use the results in your application. Types of AI development software: deep learning, machine learning, conversational AI development platforms are there, then artificial neural networks, computer vision, and so on. Now, examples of AI development software. There are ChatGPT, ChatSonic, that people use it for chatbots. Jasper, people use it for help with generating and optimizing content questions. Then Midjourney for generating amazing digital artwork and images. Now comes integrating AI. You might have seen chatbots like Bhagavad Chat GPT, for instance. All of them, not necessarily they build everything from scratch. So you can build your own AI-based chat platforms or anything. You don't have to build everything from scratch. There are off-the-shelf tools. Like for instance, as I was mentioning in the previous diagram, right? This is the AI tool, for instance, ChatGPT. So you provide the data. Like in this case, you can convert your data into vector database, for instance. There are tools available to you for conversion. Then you send the request to this AI tool in JSON format or REST API format, and then get the result back in JSON format. And then the result you can integrate with your application. So that's all I want to say today on a high level about the fundamentals of AI, because we have a lot of fun things on actually playing with the tools. That is, the industry expert Rajiv Kaul and China Kaul are going to demonstrate as exactly on how do you use this. For instance, when you use the chat GPT, it is not just that, how you just put in your chat the questions. There are a very effective way of querying these tools. If you do that, it gives the results in a appropriate way. So with that, before I hand it over to Rajiv, as I promised previously, I'll talk a little bit about our cause, the education for all. So to start with, what is education for all? It's all about sharing knowledge with one another without any prejudice. It is not about you go to some top colleges and pay huge amount of fees, right? But education for all is not like that. It is like how we are doing today, sharing knowledge with anyone and everyone, irrespective of your social status or economical status. But it is a little bit more than that. What you have is this organization, Education for All. What we do is we share with the less fortunate ones. Like this boy here in the rural. He was in a hut along with his grandma. Now he is happily studying in our institution. So we have over 27 school campuses, residential school campuses in India currently. And we have 3 outside India, one in Laos, one in Nigeria, one in Australia. And we have university and University for Human Excellence and a medical college. All of them run free of cost. Students who join in any of our institutions or any of our establishments pay nothing. Everything is provided free of cost for them, including their clothes, hostel fees, boarding, lodging, books, and everything. How is it possible? It is possible only like people like us who come forward and share a little bit from what we do on our day-to-day life, what we get from society, giving back to the society. That's all it's about. Like me, all of us in the panel and are volunteers. Everything goes 100% goes to the cause. So this is all about education for all I want to talk about in a nutshell. And this is our website, educationforall.org. All are welcome to participate. And we want your participation and full-hearted participation. You need to buy this idea that, yes, I need to share the education with the less fortunate one. I want to help the society so that I give back to society. If you buy that, yes, you come with us, participate with us. There are a lot of opportunities, a lot of leadership roles, and you can be part of this entire mission. We have this participation page here, and that talks all about it. There are many ways to you participate, and all is described here. We'll go a little bit more about in the middle if you find some time. Now, we want to thank the sponsors. Sandeep, over to you. You can talk more about this.
Yeah, thank you, Shivan. Basically, we would like to thank our sponsor, Tech Unison from Ohio. I must make a note that the co-founder of Tech Unison is a great supporter. They have sponsored many classrooms. They sponsor about education for 100 students every year. An amazing support from Tech Unison. Then TIA Tech is another medical HMS software company which is supporting. IT in Education is a new startup from California which is building edutech software. Then InnovXL.com from Illinois, Omega Q from Illinois, and Right Value from Chicago. So these are basically all young startups who are really, even though they are startups, they're supporting in their own way. So thanks to them. I would also like to really, as Education for All, we'd like to thank hundreds of families which are supporting from US, and they're some of them are there, I can see in the webinar. So thank you so much for all your support and contributions for this cause. Shivam, can I take 2 more minutes, 1 more minute, if you don't mind?
Yeah, absolutely, Sandeep.
Yeah. Can you put the screen on testimonials, if you don't mind? Yeah. So actually, I just wanted to tell about something that what Shivram said. I want to add to it that what is this Education All has accomplished? So basically it supports the Gurukulam group of schools, Satya Sai Lok Seva Gurukulam's group of schools. And what's so unique? There are many non-profits, there are many government schools. They're all free education, many give free education. So what's so unique about Education All is doing? Education All is doing something very unique. We are not building schools, we're not just building schools and infrastructure. We're not just providing free education, not only just helping the underprivileged, economically disadvantaged people, but that everybody does, that many organizations, non-profits, they're all doing. But what is so unique is we're creating a guaranteed future for the rural underprivileged kids in India. Basically, we're building the nation. This may sound a very big statement, building a nation, how is that possible? So it's not about the free education, it's about guaranteeing them 100% future of employability, sustainability. It's a complete package. The student who join, we support this Gurukulam, Satya Sai Gurukulam school, supported by Prashanti Balamandira Trust in Modanhalli. They not only, we support them because this team supports their studies and they're up to schooling, then takes them for the undergraduation, graduation, and even up to PhD. And what happens is they come back as teaching staff. They come back as faculty back into the school. That's an amazing thing. Nowhere, no other non-profit, to my knowledge, gives the complete assurance. You join us, we'll take you. In short, we take care of the prosperity of the child. Anybody who joins this institution are guaranteed to be prosperous in life and successful. That's an amazing story. So that's why we really really love supporting this cause. And there are many heart-touching stories. If you hear on the testimonial page from, as Brother Shivram said, the boy from a cattle grazing in forest, and now they're brilliant students. Some are studying in the US also. They're doing MS in North Carolina and other places. So there are many such stories. So that is basically the power of transmission, what we are achieving by giving them education. It's not just free education. It's all about a transformational journey, really touching and helping these rural kids. Thank you so much for your time. Over to you, brother.
Yeah, thank you, Sandeep. Now, without much delay, let's over to Rajiv. And again, thanks all the sponsors. And if any of you would like to sponsor, please go to a participation page and you can contribute here. And also, if you would like to be one of the presenters next time, please write to us. If you have any skills, share with us. You can share your education with others. Thank you. Over to you, Rajiv and China.
Thanks, Shivram, for sharing the incredible story of Education for All organization. I'm so grateful.
We've always been fascinated by puppet shows and the remarkable stories. Wonder how the puppeteer creates that magic. Imagine that you are given a box full of puppets. And with that, you have the power to create. The AI tools are the modern puppets of today. With intelligence built into them that you can use to harness your own magic.
And they are not ordinary puppets. They have special powers of various domains. And these special powers have been trained and refined over ages. So you'll see in this journey that started before even 2018, you'll see how these open source and other models are coming to the market and empowering each individual. It's only recently through different interfaces like chat and other interfaces, we are able to use the actual power of it. And you must be wondering who these puppeteers are in the show today. I'm Rajiv, co-founder, or you may say a co-puppeteer in Intelligia.
Hi, I'm Sheena, one of the co-founders and your co-puppeteer today.
And we help improve customer experience of enterprises and startups by bringing your product's goodness to life with UX team that works and converts. And how do we do this? And by doing this work, we also help organizations use AI. And one of the important part, how to use this AI tools is through prompt. That's why we are today bringing in the story of a prompteer and puppets. So creating a puppet prompt and engineering the prompt is the core or the heart of the AI interaction. So on the left-hand side, you'll see a prompt. On the right-hand side, you see the completion. So when you enter something in the AI tool, so the model picks up that prompt and tries to complete that based on your guidance given to it. So this is the core. And why we have chat-based interfaces as of now? Because largely our models are based on natural language programming. So they can only take text inputs as of now. But slowly there'll be more inputs like audio, video, images. So those are by models. Those are coming in multiple models. So they are coming in and you'll see the magic happening very soon. And today we'll also introduce you to a framework called Thread. Gina will talk more about it and why it is important to have a human-centered approach while interacting with these tools. Over to Gina now.
So the thread actually stands for telling a good story that is human-centered, relevant, engaging, authentic, as well as direct and very specific, that is to the point. So let us decode this framework a little further, because whenever you create something, if it's not for your own self, even then, so to speak, it has to be human-centered. It has to have that emotion and it has to be relevant. And the person who would be reading your message or content or even a piece of image that you're creating through the AI tool has to engage with that, and it should look authentic as well. So that's in a nutshell what a thread framework implies.
And we'll give you real examples from day-to-day life, why and how you can use this thread framework. So let's deep dive into one of the live demos. So today we'll show you 3 different examples. Let's say we are planning a trip to Japan. How can AI tools help us plan that whole trip? Another example is creating a presentation for a non-profit organization. How can we build a presentation, an emailer, or a landing page? How can these tools help us create all of that? And also on the personal side, how can this tool be a friend or a guide or a mentor?
And a non-judgmental one at that.
Exactly.
Yes.
So first of all, the first example is our trip planning to Japan. So we open our ChatGPT, and I'll go into the ChatGPT tool here in a few seconds. But let's say you just have a prompt that says, I want to go to Japan, right? So you don't know how to craft a prompt. You don't know what information do I need to give or what information can I get from the tool. So you just say, I want to go to Japan, right? And you'll have hundreds of questions in your mind, like I have only 10 days.
Yeah, ideally you would Google it and you would make your own kind of a resource file where you'll put in all the links and maybe even talk to your friends that, okay, share your itinerary with me if you went there. And a lot of different logistics that have to be managed through it. And for me, the most important one is always to, understand what time it will take from one point to another. And that's how we actually are, going to start profiteering
Correct.
for this particular use case.
Exactly. So as Tina said that we will be iterating based on the questions that we have in mind or based on the ideas that we want to have on the trip, like we want to enjoy certain areas, where to go and all. So either we can keep writing those questions and try to sift through the information that tools are giving back to us, or we can craft the prompt in a human-centered approach that can give us very, very concise and to the point information. But this engineering from prompt design is an iterative process. And we'll walk you through that iterative process in a few seconds in the live demo. Over to live demo now.
And the best part is that since it's based on natural language, so you can be very conversational with it. It's like talking to a friend.
So I have ChatGPT open right now, and I'm using the paid version, GPT-4. I can also go and use 3.5, but I want to show you some of the powers of GPT-4 as well. First of all, let's say we are planning for our trip. So I'll say I want to go to Japan. So I get some output or answer from the ChatGPT. It's coming out really fast. It's giving me some options about the year, about the time of the year we can go, or the visa, the budget, etc. Okay. So now, how do we iterate further? How do I add some more context to this whole trip planning that I'm doing here? I want to put all these things into it. So how do I do this? I can click on this. I want to go Japan input that you'll see a small icon on the right side over here. So if I click on that, I want to go to Japan. The original input that I gave became editable, right? So now I can say, I'll copy the new prompt that I have created for you to save our time in the demo. So I'll copy this and I'll take it to my GPT tool and put it there. And you can change. You can say, I want to go to Sweden. I want to go to America. And from the place you are from, 10 days, you can say 30 days and other things. You want to see certain places you have in mind, put those. And you want to understand the language of the different country, add that. And then save and submit. So suddenly you'll see 2 of 2 on the left-hand side of the input. Now, what is that? That is where we are engineering our prompt further to get better results out of it. And whatever you had done in the previous prompt, so I'll stop this for a second.
Yeah, and see the detail in the response that it is giving you. It's actually, you can take this with you and just go to Japan.
Right. So we go to the version 1. I want to go to Japan. It's saying time of visit, visa, accommodation. Now, if I compare this with number 2, now it's talking about my itinerary. It's breaking down the itinerary by the time of the day. It's giving me each day's plan. See the difference between the 2 inputs? That's where your role as a puppeteer comes into play. You guide these puppets, these advanced level puppets, and get the right information out of them. Okay? So that is our first example. Any questions, Shivram? Are you getting any questions?
Yeah, there is some question. Tell me if I can ask this question.
Sure. Yes.
Can I ask you to create a presentation or should you wait?
No, we can go ahead with the presentation one.
Okay. Why don't you create a presentation outline for a non-profit,
Absolutely.
non-profit event, let's say.
Thanks, Shivram. So here's the second example that we would want to discuss today. Let's say you are part of an organization and they want to create a presentation from of an event that you are organizing. And you'll go into ChatGPT, you'll say, okay, create a presentation outline for a non-profit event. That's a basic prompt that anybody would put in. But how will you use the human-centered approach that we are outlining here to further enhance the prompt, or even say engineer the prompt further? So I'll ask China to further elaborate on that.
So if you put in this prompt, it will definitely bring you an outline, which you can definitely use, but it will be a very ordinary kind of a slideshow that you could even, just pick up from a template, so to speak. But if you tell it to give you a story instead, which will be engaging and which will be also authentic, it'll bring out a response that you can actually, enjoy sharing with the people, your target audience, that is.
So Rajiv and Chin, are you sharing anything live right now? We are seeing your.
Right now it's the presentation.
Okay.
I'll go to the live demo.
Yeah, we will show that.
We are breaking down the framework.
Yeah, we just wanted to show you the framework right now,
Yeah.
that how you can actually, create a human-centered and a relevant, engaging, authentic, direct story from a prompt that you need, for it to create.
And as Tina said, that when we are applying the thread framework, it's about human-centered approach. So human-centered approach in layman's language is, who is the presentation for? Who is actually going to see it? Is it somebody sitting in a foreign land who doesn't speak English, or Hindi, or somebody who hasn't visited India? So you need to understand the audience who are actually going to see it, so you can structure the presentation, you can tell the right story in the right manner. So that is why the human-centered approach is critical. The other point is, let's say you have delivered the presentation, it's wow, but we need to say it in clear words that how do we want people to engage with us? That is also called call to action. But here we are saying, be direct. What do you want them to do after the presentation? Do you want them to join your organization? Do you want them to participate in some other means, like investing in the initiative?
What
or
is
what
expectation
Right.
from them? Basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to spell it out, but in a way that is, telling a beautiful story they can empathize with.
Correct. So I'll go into the live demo now. So let's say I'll create a presentation. We'll open up a new chat window here. We'll say create a presentation outline for a non-profit event. My target audience is people living in US of Indian origin. So I'll stay here, and who can join the initiative, right? And let's say what it does. Now you'll see that it's creating the entire presentation slide by slide for you, putting in welcome and introduction, but you still need to give more information, like welcome and introduction text. Now our goal is to go slide by slide, give inputs on each slide, give iterations on each slide. But for our presentation today, let's say I take this piece of output from ChatGPT.
And also you can tell it to tell a story instead.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So let me iterate this further and say that
We turn this into a story format.
the same as the previous example, we got 2 of 2. So now it's saying creating presentation. Again, so the slide content is different now. So I'll stop here to see the difference between the first one and this one. It said introduction. The second option said event name, date and time, opening, setting the scene. Now it's telling the story. The format has changed. Same way you can apply multiple formats to change the narrative. And believe me, when you tell stories rather than the numbers or the facts, like Sandeep shared a few minutes back
Yes.
of a student, those are the stories which engage people. Those are the authentic stories. So bring those in your content and presentations. So I'll copy the second version and try to build a presentation using another tool called Gamma. I'm on Gamma application now. I've created an account. It's free for now. So I'll say create new, and I'll select a visual version or visual template of it. It's starting up. So I can go with the page, web page or a document like a PDF or something, or a presentation. So my need is presentation as of now. There are further actions or options they are giving us, but I'm not interested in that as of now. So I'll say, I'll copy paste the whole the content that I have given here, or I can just say, I can bring the same prompt and say go. So now it's creating the presentation. It has created the outline. Now there are two things. You can create an outline here, or you can use ChatGPT for iterations. We are more comfortable using ChatGPT for iterations. So we use multiple tools, like do our iterations here, and then use Gamma for building the whole slide deck. So that's what I'm sharing with you right now, but you can also use single tool and get the output. So I'll say continue. Now it's actually building the presentation. So in few seconds, you'll see the whole presentation is coming together. So it's picking up some pictures from open source libraries, and I'll demo how we can change these pictures and create new pictures using another AI tool called Midjourney. So while this is happening, let me bring up the Midjourney tool for you.
Yeah, that is really cool, Rajiv. That created.
Okay.
I think you can download the presentation too. There, right?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
I was just waiting that whole presentation
Yeah. Right.
picks up, then we can.
Yeah, so to start with creating stories as well that you can actually mold around, your own authentic, real data.
Correct. So still think of it as a template for your work. You still have to put in
But a
real content.
smarter version of a template, because it has
Exactly.
given you a framework and some ready-made, space to start with.
Yeah,
So
I
instead
think
of
just to summarize what you did, Rajiv,
Mhm.
basically you used the app called Gamma.app. So
Correct.
you gave the title and then give some verbiage, and then it created the PowerPoint presentation for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So somebody asked a question, why are we using square brackets in the prompts? That's actually a very good question. Let me go back to that slide. So here you'll see this square brackets. So imagine that you have created a prompt. Now you want to share that prompt with few other people, your friends, family, so that they can use it or modify it further. And you want to help them by giving the spaces where they can just fill in their information and get going.
This is your template, basically,
Exactly.
that you created,
Right.
that you can use.
So these are the editable areas, you can say. You won't change the rest of the stuff, but you'll change stuff that is inside those square brackets. That's why, so our goal is to speed up other people's work as well, right?
Yeah, so that you can share it with other people and they can use the same template, so to speak, and then, reach Japan faster.
Right, right. So we have China come into the camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have only 10 minutes now, so I'll speed up our
We
demo
have
with the,
another prompt.
yes, we have another.
Yes.
So I'll quickly show you, I'll share the prompts in the email after the webinar. So quickly, we got our Gamma presentation slide deck ready. Now we want to build some pictures. So how can we build pictures using Midjourney? So I have a prompt ready here for creating a picture. So again, I'll go to, or I can stay in this same chat window because I have to create images for this presentation only. So I'll get the Midjourney prompt in Chat GPT. So here I'll say, for example, cover image with the open sky, for example, right? So I'm creating prompt for Midjourney now. An important thing here is we want some variety, right, China, while creating these graphics, like we browse open libraries.
Yes, you have to have a style and what you have to define all that.
Correct. So when we do this kind of work, we need to, instead of putting repeatedly that, okay, create another one, we can use batch processing. So we can create a prompt which can do, which can create 4 different images in one go. So that saves your time. So that's what I'm doing here right now. So on the left-hand side, that's the first basic prompt. On the right-hand side, once we get the basic prompt output, we'll use the batch processing prompt and we'll place it here. And again, we'll change the information here, your prompt, so that we can combine 3 different prompts into a single batch prompt. These are 3 different prompts and we can merge into a single prompt to create multiple images. So it's creating a single prompt for us now.
So Midjourney is basically a little more complex tool to handle. So you have to be very specific and it can be a little, unnerving.
Overwhelming.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So let's say, so in Midjourney, we give prompt in a slightly different manner. We use / first. As soon as you type in the /, you'll see a list of commands, right? So our suggestion is go with the first prompt, that is imagine.
Yes.
Then once you are comfortable with the first prompt, that is imagine, then go and explore the other prompts. Another important thing is I'm using the paid version here, but you can always use the free version. The free version has some limitations because it's open, like anybody can log into an open version and start creating graphics. So you'll see graphics from everybody and you'll have to find yours, and
it's like a room full of people who are creating, and then your instructions may just get buried somewhere, and again it'll be very overwhelming.
Correct. So as you can see that I entered the prompt, it's saying, do you want to generate 4? I'll say yes. So now it's creating 4 images for me. While it is creating, let's go to Gamma app and download, or see our presentation, but we can always download in different formats. So we can create a duplicate, we can export and export it as a PDF or a PowerPoint to further edit it or share it with other folks. Let's see if we have something in graphics. So we got something in our graphics here. So you'll see that we have 4 different variations. So within seconds, you'll see with the prompt, we got some interesting pictures, and I can go and open it up in the browser to see which one works for me. And these are in different painting styles. You can define a new painting style as well for you and work on that. So let's say another important aspect which China really loves is enhancing the image. That is U, and V means version. So let's say for the first, we like first one, and we want more versions of the first one. We don't want more versions of others, but we want versions of the first one. So I'll click that. It will say yes. Do you want to do that? Remix. I'll say yes. Now it's creating more options. Right? So while it is creating, let's say we go back to our first version. We open this, we open it in browser. So it's a pretty big image. We can save image locally on our computer. Then go back into Gamma and click on the image, select the image, click on the image. Then you can say image upload. We'll go to Midjourney folder that I have saved. I think I should have cropped the image, but you can see that you got the image there. So for the time, I'll just stay here only. So you can see that you can change the pictures. You can actually click and go and click pictures of real students, paste them or insert them here in different formats. So that is about creating an event presentation with the graphics from your real stories, right, Sheena?
Yeah, it's like having an intern, who's always available 24/7.
Right.
Actually.
And here, let's go to the third example that we have for today in last 5 minutes of the presentation. Earlier, Chino was talking about that ChatGPT could also be your friend, your mentor, and also kind of a guru, you can say.
Yeah, as long as you don't, make ChatGPT your coach, everything is okay. I mean, treat it as your assistant.
Right.
And you can learn a lot from it, definitely. And it can even tell you a joke sometimes if you're bored. It can also help you make a recipe if you have just maybe one odd thing left in the refrigerator. So you can try all different things with it and share with us. I mean, we would love to see what you create. And even, in your own personal life or work life, you can even make beautiful, resumes, create your LinkedIn profiles using it. And I guess we have one last demo for that use case.
So as Tina said that you want to create your own resume. So that is what I'm going to do now. There are more questions coming in, but I'll answer them in a second.
This one first. Yeah, because this is something that people will find very useful.
Right. So I'm going into my LinkedIn profile, and let's say I'll quickly copy some of my stuff from LinkedIn and paste it as my resume here. It's taking a few seconds. I copied it. So it's saying review my experience and background from my resume. Write a compelling 2-minute story about me that immediately grips the audience. Copy and paste your resume, right? So I'll put that here. So this is my entire profile from LinkedIn, and I'll say it's for my target audience is enterprise clients, right? So I'm doing it very quick so that you can see how it works, but you can spend time, iterate it.
Yes, and you can also even, try a different style. Like you can say that, imagine Steve Jobs had written my resume, or maybe, Picasso wrote it, or any celebrity or anybody that you kind of, fancy, you can say that, okay, write in that style.
And let's say it gives you like a 500 or 2000 word output. You can say make it concise.
Yes, and
to just 600 characters. So it will rewrite the whole thing and make it small.
And you can add, make it sound serious or make it sound humorous, or, there's no limit to that.
Correct. Now let's go back to, we have 2 minutes. I want to cover a couple of important points in the presentation.
Somebody's asking, can you create cartoons with
Yes,
this?
absolutely.
Definitely.
You can. And you can also specify that take New York style cartoons and create New York style cartoon, or create a Dilbert style cartoon. It'll not be like very, very finished cartoon, but it'll give you that kind of style cartoon. About 3.5, it's a free version, works really well. 4 has more information and more refined content. 3.5 was paused in September of 2021, whereas 4 is refined version. So they're constantly refining it, so you get better answers, less errors. That's why 4.0 is paid and better. Okay, back to our last set of slides. So as Tina was saying, that you can build your own resume, you can have a recipe, you can tell a joke or stuff like that. And in the version 4, you can also upload documents. You can enable that from the settings, and you can upload various documents. So let's say you have a PDF file and it's 50 pages and you have only 15 or 20 minutes to go through it. You can upload the PDF file into 4.0 and say summarize it. It'll go through the document and it'll give you summary. But in certain cases, if the PDF document is not well designed, not organized properly, it may throw up errors or garbled information, but still it will give you something better than like reading 50 pages.
And it can always lie as well.
Correct. So that's what we are going to talk about next. So these are algorithms, and then sometimes they also give you wrong information. So imagine the idea of puppets. So if certain strings are broken while you're playing the show, and certain strings are broken, so you'll get a very wonky show from the same puppet.
And if this puppet is smart enough, has a mind of its own, you never know what it can do.
Correct.
And it will still seem, as if it's
a
part of the show.
Correct.
So you have to be very careful. That is what hallucination actually means.
Correct.
Whereas in, the case of, say, puppets, like you remember Pinocchio, it used to lie, but it had a nose which used to grow. So it was obvious.
Right.
But here we have to use our own, we have to use it to the right.
So how can we reduce those errors? Is through giving the information which is true from our side also, limit that information. So don't go like pages and pages of information, limit that information. And when the output is given to you, always go through it. Don't just copy paste into your email and send it out. I get so many emails where the heading is same, like 3 people sending me LinkedIn invite, same heading, because they don't change. They just write something and copy and paste it, send it back to me.
Yes.
And always check your source of inspirations or suggestions. If somebody is saying that I used this and this gave me 5x return, you entered the same information into ChatGPT and it extrapolated, gave you some output. So don't just do that. Cross-check, verify, trust but verify. And always use it, as China said, as a co-pilot.
Yes.
Don't let it boss you, but you're the boss. You're the puppeteer here.
The prompteer. It's not your coach. Although some people do use it for, certain prompts and for journaling and for even certain self-care methods, which is quite nice. It can help you a lot in many different ways.
Great. So 4 big key takeaways from this presentation, and I'm also sharing the top 50 tools. You can go and check them out according to your needs, and I'll give you one liner for each of these tools. So what are they and what you can do with them. And always think that you are the prompteer. You have to guide each tool to get the right output. It may take some time, but train yourself, read about them. And the most important aspect is having the human-centered approach. Always think that the content that you're generating with these robo puppets, they are for humans, not for other robots to read. Though a lot of people are saying that my chat GPT will read your chat GPT content, but ultimately it's humans who are going to take decisions. So make sure that whatever you are creating.
Yeah, and it makes sense to actually jump on the wagon and learn what it is capable of and how it can help you in whatever you want to use it for, because it's very, very important.
Correct. And the last one, most important, any output, cross-check it, verify it before sending it out. You don't want to seem like careless person, some generated really big paragraph or an article suddenly posted on web, but read through it and make sure
stay
that
authentic for
yes.
yourself. Like if you ask it to write a poetry for you, it'll do that, but please don't sign it with your name.
Right. And connect with us on LinkedIn and reach out to us for any questions.
Sure. Yes.
And thanks Shivram for giving us the chance to present today.
Thanks for
And
hearing
thanks
us
for
out.
thanks for listening to us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajiv, and thank you, China.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, now we have a few minutes left. I think you already answered some of the questions what is put on the chat here.
Okay.
What we do is that we will give a couple of minutes for the people to put any questions here. In the meantime, I will just play our one of our very astonishing video.
Okay, sure.
So I'll stop sharing. So the team, please write questions if you have any questions with the remaining few minutes. And then until then, I'll play a 2 minutes small video that talks about this cause and this initiative.
The need of the hour is an education model that will induce human values into the veins of education to ensure a holistic development of individuals who will cultivate the commitment to serve the society and help to address the manifold issues and needs of our societies.
A practical testimony to implementing the ancient way of education that is based on the molding of wholesome individuals with brilliant heads, compassionate hearts, and competent hands, the 3H formula, is the Sri Satya Sai Lokaseva Gurukulam group of institutions. These institutions impart integral values-based education to over 5,000 students, both boys and girls, from grade 6 to doctorate programs, over 27 campuses in India, and at 3 institutions outside India in Australia, Laos, and Nigeria, completely free of all costs.
The institutions are residential edifices set up in naturalistic settings as symbols of majesty and modesty, reminding one about the genuine goals of education, the acquisition of all forms of knowledge being a paragon of virtues and working for the welfare of society.
The higher education wing is the Sri Satya Sai University for Human Excellence, an institution which empowers young students with the necessary knowledge, skills, and character with only one purpose: serving the society. Thus, every student who passes out of the university joins the alma mater, which itself is a service institution, or posted at any of its other sister organizations based on the need, thus creating a self-sustainable system.
The university is also the only general university that offers courses in fine arts and Vedic and spiritual studies. To promote learning and research in Vedic studies and to disseminate its priceless wisdom to all, the Sri Satya Sai Lokaseva Veda Gurukulam was set up in the year 2021. A milestone that will change the future of medical education in India was accomplished by the Sri Satya Sai University for Human Excellence by the setting up of India's first totally free medical college, Sri Madhusudan Sai Institute of Medical Sciences and Research. The college was inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, on 25th March 2023 at Satya Sai Grama in the village of Muddinahalli in Karnataka.
Governed by the principle of for the rural, of the rural, and by the rural, this medical college will impart totally free medical education to those students who do not have the affordability but have the aptitude for medical sciences and a service bent of mind to use their knowledge and skills for serving others. Apart from education, boarding and lodging will also be given completely free of cost to all students.
The vision of the medical college is to produce capable and compassionate healthcare professionals who will serve the rural geographies of the country where the need is most.
In its initial phase, the institute comprises of one academic cum administrative block, Sri Satya Sai Rajeshwari Memorial Block, and one teaching hospital, Sri Satya Sai Sarla Memorial Hospital. The medical college will commence from the academic year starting June 2023.
And now I think going to the question and answer. I think we have time for one question. There's one question: can we use ChatGPT or a different AI tool to generate an Hindi Telugu version of non-profit presentation you created besides English?
Right. So their translation is possible of certain Indian languages, and I think Telugu is one of them. Hindi is there, but accuracy you'll have to check for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I definitely asked ChatGPT once to help me with some words in Hindi and even other languages, and it was Japanese as well. So it was able to help with that, and also the pronunciation of the words. So that way, yes. But we'll have to dig deeper into this aspect of it. But it's a very good use case.
Right.
Right. I think the main issue here is this. Okay, the algorithms are written in programming language English, right?
Mhm.
And I think the translators are still coming up. I think one thing what you can do is feed it, get the answer in English, and then use the other translators to translate into whatever the words, the languages you want.
Correct.
But you never know, things are moving so fast. There will be
Yes.
something else coming up already in the market.
Yes, definitely.
And I'll share a website where you can check what is latest, what are the new tools. The website is called.
We can put it in the chat.
Yeah, there is an AI for this.
For that.
For that.com. It's a very popular website. I think I'll just put it. I'll put it in the chat for everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, Raju. Thank you, China.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Wonderful
much.
presentation. It was very helpful. And also, everyone, we will have discontinued webinars in the future as well. Watch out for email. And if you have any skills, you want to present like this, feel free to write to us. You can go to our website, educationforall.org, and go to the participation page, and you can write to us there. And again, thanks again for joining. And also, if you'd like to be one of the sponsors for our future events, please write to us. And also, you can be reached at info@educationforall.org. With that, good night or good evening, whichever the place you are in the world, and all the good wishes to everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Raj.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much. Bye-bye.
Thanks.